Hello, this is Mr. Pease, Deputy Head Teacher, and I am just producing this video to remind you of some of the things about the Year 8 options process, and to do basically the presentation I would do on options evening to parents and students, so that you know everything you need to know about the process and the kind of revised timescale that we're going to follow on the basis of the school closure. So I'm just going to talk you through it. I'll keep it as brief and informational as I can. So firstly, revised timeline is today. I expect you might be viewing this on Wednesday the 22nd of April. So the options form will open on Edulink today and will close next Friday the 1st of May. So that's closing next Friday. As to what you'll study in Year 9, this is the breakdown of lessons over a fortnight. So over a 2-week period there's 50 lessons, 5 a day over the fortnight, and this is how it's comprised. So everybody studies all of these on the screen now. So English 8 lessons a fortnight, Maths 7, Science 7, Core PE 4 lessons a fortnight. Everyone continues to study a modern foreign language, French, Spanish or German. There's a very small handful of students that don't, and you will know who you are, and those arrangements will continue in Year 9. But for the vast majority, everybody continues studying languages for 4 lessons a fortnight. Everybody will do PSHE for 1 lesson a fortnight, RE for 2 lessons, computer studies for 2, and then everybody will make 5 options choices and will study each of those option subjects for 3 lessons each per fortnight. So that's how the overall timetable for Year 9 will look. So for those 5 option subjects, this is the list of subjects you can choose from, and I won't dwell on that too long because you're going to be looking at the options booklet to give you all the details about those courses, and a summary sheet which I'll show you later on as well. So in addition to all those subjects I listed on the previous screen, these are the subjects from which you'll make your 5 options choices. Now, a really important point to make at this stage is that these courses provide a foundation for continued study in Year 10 and 11. So you will not be able to study these subjects or their vocational equivalents, which I'll explain in a moment, in Year 10 and 11 unless you study them in Year 9. So to give an example, unless you choose citizenship for Year 9, so now, you won't have the option to do that in Year 10 and 11. I'm kind of labouring this point because we always have a number of students that want to pick a new subject in Year 10 when they didn't study it in Year 9, and because we kind of build the foundations for the GCSEs or their vocational equivalent qualifications in Year 9, they just at that point you won't have the knowledge and the skills to be successful by the beginning of Year 10 if you haven't studied them in Year 9. So if you have any inkling that you want to study these subjects through to GCSE, then you need to pick them in Year 9. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is just show you where you'll find all the information about these courses. So this is just the Brookfield website. In fact, I'm going to try and switch to the website now. So if you just go to the website here, which you'll be familiar with, and scroll straight down, then there's the options block here, and of course Year 8. Now, there's 2 key documents that are linked in here. I'm going to show you both. So the first one is the options booklet, and I think I've got that on this tab here. This kind of gives you everything you need to know, including all the information I'm going to share with you now in this presentation. So you can refer to this and it should cover everything I'm going to say in detail and give you all the information. So this is the intro to the booklet, and it will go on to describe all of the courses in depth below that. And then the other document you'll need is a kind of 1-page summary of the entire process. So if there's one thing you want to look at to remind you of what the decisions you need to make and all the rules and everything about what you can choose and what you can't choose, then the summary of options process, this document here, and I'll try and pull that up on my screen now. So that looks like this. It's a one-page, one-side document, and it summarises pretty much everything I'm going to say today. So if you understand everything I'm going to say, the only things you might want to look at are this document and the descriptions of all these courses listed down the side here to help you make an informed decision about what you want to do in Year 9. Okay, back to the presentation. Okay, so how do you choose? The main thing I would say is talk to family, talk to your parents, talk to older siblings, talk to your teachers, your current teachers, by email of course. Read the options booklet and also email the learning leaders. So if you have not studied citizenship before in any depth and you want to know a bit more about it, obviously read the options booklet, but if you have specific questions about the courses, you can email the learning leaders, and I'll give you all those email addresses a bit later. As to the kinds of factors to think about when you're choose the things you enjoy, obviously. Choose the things that you're good at, so look back at your latest report and look at where your top grades are coming from. There's probably a big overlap between what you enjoy and what you are doing well at anyway, but those are a couple of things to take account of. College, what do you want to do for your career, what do you want to do in college? You've probably started to think about those sorts of things already, but if you do have some ideas, do a bit of research online, go to some of the college websites and find out what their requirements are for certain courses. And just make sure you've given a little bit of thought, if you have a direction you want to head in, that everything kind of lines up. Balance is important. There are some, it's important to have a good range of different subjects and types of study. So what I mean by that is it would be good to have some kind of more academic written subjects, as well as perhaps some more art-based subjects or creative subjects, rather than all of one or all of the other. And I'm going to talk to you later in this presentation about the EBAC group of subjects to explain to what those are for anyone that doesn't know. And the other thing I'd say is don't base any decisions on what your friends are doing on the assumption that you might be in the same class, because the likelihood is you won't be in the same class anyway. And equally, don't pick subjects based on a particular teacher that you really like, because there's no guarantee you'll have that teacher for Year 9 anyway. So try and take these other factors into account a bit more. Okay, as I said, I've put this in here so that should, after reading the options booklet and the descriptions of the courses, you have any further questions about those courses, these are the learning leaders, heads of departments for the subjects listed, and you and parents can email these teachers if you have any questions about those particular courses. Okay, so as you've glimpsed on that summary sheet and in the options booklet I showed you, there are a few decisions you're going to need to make. So there's 5 decisions that you'll need to make, and you'll need to put into this options form that's open on EduLink from today. First thing is, as I said to you earlier, everybody's going to continue to study a language. So this doesn't form one of your 5 options. This is a core piece of your curriculum. So everybody has to select what language. Now that's easy for nearly everyone, because you only studied one language in Year 8, and if you did study one language in Year 8, then your Year 9 language will be the same language. So you'll just pick the language you've been studying this year. There are some people though that have studied 2 languages in Year 8, and you can choose which of those languages to continue. So you'll pick your preference for your language if you've studied 2 languages in Year 8. Now that doesn't mean you can't continue to study 2 languages for those that have. It just means that later on you'll use one of your options to select the second language that you want to do. Okay, so that's the first of 5 decisions that you need to make. You need to choose a language. The second choice you need to make, and again this is not one of your 5 option slots, this is another decision you have to make, is between core PE or the pre-GCSE PE / sports studies course. Now, as I said to you earlier, everybody's going to have 4 lessons of PE over a fortnight. If you choose the pre-GCSE PE Sports Studies course, you will have the opportunity to continue with either GCSE PE or Cambridge National Sports Studies in year 10 and 11. If you choose core PE now for year 9, you will just continue with core PE in year 10 and 11. So you won't have the GCSE or Cambridge National qualifications available to you in year 10 and 11. So if you just continue core PE, you'll have 4 lessons a fortnight of, as you've always had, kind of games and different sports. If you do the pre-GCSE PE Sports Studies course, one of those 4 lessons will be a theory lesson, so that you'll get used to the kind of written work that would form part of one of these qualifications in year 10 and 11. So you get a kind of experience of what it would be like to do the theory side of those subjects as well. So that will be one of your 4 lessons. So just to be really clear, if you choose core PE, you won't have the option to take a GCSE or Cambridge National qualification in year 10 and 11. So that's another decision you have to make. Now, the next main decision, and this is the first of your 5 options, will be whether to study history or geography. So we do insist that everybody continues in year 9 at least to study history and geography, and this will be one of your 5 options. So your first option is your history or geography. Now, it doesn't mean you can't continue to study both. You'll just choose the other one later as one of your other option subjects, but everybody has to select one of these 2. So that's your third decision.